Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnek from a rather unusual spot today. Well, I'm going to try and there we go, that's better. Um, I'm here inside my lovely new Kia Sportage.
Ooh, flash.
It's very flash. It's very nice. It has bells and whistles on it, and I'll start the engine actually, and you can see the bells and whistles on it.
Going
Turn
on.
the volume off.
We don't need
So,
the music.
oh, actually, it's going to go through the car now. Can you hear in the car?
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it's not too bad. Can you hear me?
Is it a bit? I can hear you clear as well. Is it echoey?
A little bit. Sounds like
Oh,
you're
well,
in a train.
I'll turn it off then. Okay. Now, is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. I'll just get this thing. Okay. So, everyone, well, welcome to everyone. This is Eyes on Cricket without Michael and Babs Anastasia, without Giuseppe Terranova. Sam Heslett's just joined us. I've got obviously Doofus, that is George Prasaris. Even Harry Tombaris is not here. We've got a few outs today. That's okay. We've got lots to talk about, especially when it comes to T20 international cricket. And that's the theme now, George. We're going to be talking about T20 international cricket really from now until the World Cup.
Well, it's all starting now, isn't it? Everyone's getting into their pre-tournament games and so forth. So it'll be all happening in and around. So we saw what happened last night or this morning, our time.
That's right.
We saw what happened this morning, our time. India and Australia, a great chase there, and I still don't understand why Cam Green's not in the squad. Like
for the World Cup, you mean? Yeah.
Like he's our next one-day captain, and yet he can't get a gig there. Like I don't know, it's just incredible. Like you see what he did yesterday, 60 off 30 runs, or this morning, I should say, and he, did better than what Finch did, who was a recognised opener.
And Tim David looked pretty good as well. So I'm not sure whether they could make a late change to the squad and bring Cameron Green in. For example, for Stoinis, who could well be injured. I'm not sure they can make a late replacement. I'm guessing they can, but we'll wait and see.
I dare say it would have to be injury. Like if someone gets injured, then they could bring someone in. But I just don't think they can just change for change's sake, so to speak.
No, that's interesting. I'm curious as to what they're going to do. So again, Sam Heslett's saying that he's the next Watson. Well, I think he's better than Shane Watson, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
Arun Singh, we talk about Babs and Giuseppe. Babs is what was his story again?
He had something on from last week. I can't remember whether he was going away or he was doing something.
Yeah. And Giuseppe's like pull out no reason. So it's just us two guys.
Sorry about that. Just have to put up with it.
There's nothing to be sorry about. Rasul Hassan says missing Warner. Well, yeah, but I don't think.
Well, we didn't last night.
They didn't need it.
Last night. Green did a better job than what Warner's been doing lately. So, so that was quite good. So I don't think we're missing Warner at all.
Yeah, so Sam Heslet says if Marsh is injured, Green comes in. It's possible that or Steiner. So I think we might still see that happen.
Well, there was 3 that didn't go that were slightly injured, but they weren't like going to be missing the World Cup at this stage, you wouldn't think. But so it's interesting to see what's going to happen.
Yes. So, okay, Australia, I thought quite surprisingly beat India, to be honest. And it was a little bit surprising that Australia opted to bowl first, actually, too. But it worked out in their favour. And look, Aaron Finch, even though he's not in great form himself, he's still a good, astute, shrewd captain. And I think we've got to remember that.
He's a good captain, yeah, but he made some runs last night, which was good, better than what his one-day form has been of late. That's why, he stopped being the captain or, got out of one-day cricket altogether. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. But, yeah, of course, but they're all international cricketers. They all know what they should be doing anyway. So it's not as if, you need to be a brain surgeon to be a captain of that team when it's just I guess making the right decisions with bowling changes. Really, that's all you need to do.
And India didn't bat badly. I mean, look, KL Rahul looked really good. Kohli fell cheaply. Rohit Sharma looked good early but got out. And Hardik Pandya got a very good performance on the deck as well.
Well, they still got over 200 runs, so it wasn't if they, obviously it comes down to that pitch compared to what they're going to be facing in Australia. Do we expect a lot of teams to get 200 or more in the World Cup in Australia? Probably not.
No.
With our bigger grounds, and they're not going to be hitting as many sixes. Obviously, some of those sixes were sixes at the MCG, so they were that well hit, especially some of Cam Green's sixes. So you're probably thinking, oh well, they should be getting somewhere around that 180 mark in a big Australian ground. But to Australia's credit, we chased it down. So
yeah, I was quite impressed. And Manu Johns joined us in India, got bunker blasted. I'm not sure. I guess they might have. Nathan Ellis is a better bowler than Kane Richards. I think that's been made clear. He looked pretty good, actually.
Yeah. And probably, Cam Green didn't bowl exceptionally well. He got hit in the last couple of overs as well. So, but again, there's a few bowlers to come in our stable.
Yes, all right. So Finch a better performance. Well, he did play better. Virat and Kohli were snoring. Well, they weren't snoring, but Kohli was a bit disappointing. His shot was quite ordinary, to be honest, that he got out. And of course, they're not mentioning again Sam as well. Nathan Ellis, I agree. Wouldn't be surprised if Cam gets sold for 10 million in the IPL contract. I don't know, 10 million. We mean if that's the IPL contract for the entire year, that could well be possible.
Yeah. Did he play IPL this year?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did he? No. Well, he's going to get a good contract wherever he goes, no doubt, after last night's display.
Now, Ashwin Kartik saying his exams are hooray. Where is Giuseppe? Giuseppe is a late pull-out today. Ashwin, George and I decided they'd continue the show, even though Giuseppe and Michael pulled out. They can't be on every week, guys. There's always something on in their lives.
Yeah, something comes up.
About Mumbai Indians Cape Town squad draft. Yeah, well, there has been an announcement about the World Test Championship. Did you hear that? That the Oval in England has got that gig as the final. Previously Lords, now it's the Oval. So it will be played in England. Well, England won't be featuring in it, but it could well be a combination of Australia, South Africa, India, or Pakistan. But yeah, it's going to be played in England at the Oval.
Next June, isn't it?
I believe so.
June, July, somewhere around there. Yeah.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for the Ashes and that match. I'm pretty happy to have the chance.
When's the Ashes start next year?
That's also been announced. It's late June, earlier than normal.
Yeah, I was going to say, because normally they're sort of Augusty sort of time, aren't they? July, August.
Yeah, it is normally late. It's a bit early this year, which is interesting. And Mohan Johnson didn't expect a show like this from Green. Green was fantastic with his 61.
Well, I think wherever he's been put into, he's been, he's dominated. Like that one day game where he got 100 for Australia, like up in Cairns. So wherever he's put, he's been able to, get to a good standard. So he is our future, I think.
Oh, there's no doubt that.
And why he should be in that T20. He should be in that T20 squad, but
Well, he doesn't look like he will be.
No, unless we take someone out, hit someone in the knee and kneecap him or something. Kneecap Warner or Finchy. Get rid of him.
So Sam he's not going to put name. Mark my words. What are you saying, Sam? I don't get what you're saying. But you expect because I follow Green since okay, it's okay. There's been some discussion about Cam Green here. I'm not getting, but Cam Green will probably play Mumbai Indians. Will probably play for a club. Yes, he may well be the next Kieran Pollard for them, as a matter of fact, as well. Green didn't bowl well. Well, I think give him a chance. He can't do everything well every game, but he's going to be a star for Australia for a long time coming.
It probably doesn't. He's not going to be your end end bowler, death bowler, that's for sure. But I'm sure at times he'll be able to come in with a couple of good overs to take the pressure off someone who's being smacked around, and that's what you want from him, is just to be able to come in, do a roll, and maybe bowl a couple of overs inexpensively, and then just, he's a great fielder as well, so he can do it all. He is an all-rounder, isn't he?
Yeah. Whereas the last time I was talking about the New Zealand central contract, look, New Zealand are probably realising they can't hold players to a central contract, and I don't think it really matters. I mean, they're going to go anyway, so let them play whatever they're playing and get them back when they can. I think that's not exactly. It's probably central contracts may be a thing of the past.
I think so. I think it's going to be pay as you play. So you might be picked for a test series and you're going to be paid X amount of dollars per test, and you go off and play your T20 or wherever else you want to get your extra money from. And I think that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be like you get a contract for a work, you're contracted to them for maybe 3 months or a certain series. So the Australian summer, maybe they're playing, or an Ashes tour. So they get contracted for an Ashes tour and that's it. Then they get their extra money from IPL or wherever they want to play.
Exactly. Green in, Smith out. Well, I think Smith's going to go eventually. Whatever, this T20 series will be the last for him.
Yeah.
Manu Johnson says, I guess there's a little punishment for India defending Australia test. No, it's not. This series at the moment means nothing. Let's be honest.
It's just to get, and being played in India, it's not even under Australian conditions, so it's not a really good indication of where both teams will be come the when the World Cup's on. So you take this 3 matches with a grain of salt, because it's not going to be anywhere near what it's going to happen out in Australia, really.
Yeah, Sam Josh Phillips not getting a Guernsey out of Josh Inglis, I'll tell you now. Jimmy, no central contract. You're talking about Jimmy Neesham. Yeah, I don't think he's worried about that too much. Maxwell's slowly becoming calling number 2. No, that's not what he meant in terms of his failures. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's been like
Coley scored 122 the previous innings. He got the low score this game. He's going to come back. He's going to be there for the World Cup. Let's not forget that. He's not gone.
And Maxwell as well. Both those players are really up and down. Well, at the moment are really up and down. In their peak, you could bank on them for runs, definitely. But at the moment, they're a bit good for 1 or 2 games, and then they'll miss out on the 3rd or 4th. So they're a bit up and down, and they will be, I guess, for the remainder of their careers.
Absolutely. Don't worry about Shahil Khan in the thing. Well, I'm not sure what the big deal about that is. That I think Mose and Sheikh yesterday talked about that. That's a bit of history that's behind that. Manu John agrees with Maxwell. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, no. Mitchell Marsh must be injured. He must be pretty badly injured.
Well, I don't think he's badly injured. They just didn't want to take him across there so he could keep going with his recovery in Australia in Perth, rather than, again, a 3-match series that means nothing. Unfortunately, Marsh will probably be fit enough to play in the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew Wade's another one, which he's playing okay.
He played well last night. He got some runs and he helped, he got us home pretty much.
And Arun Singh says this Aussie team looks much better than the one they picked for the World Cup. I kind of agree. Well, I still wouldn't have Steve Smith in there, but anyway. And Steiners hasn't really been proving himself, and Maxwell's too good to be left out. So, it's kind of close. I agree. Cam Green may well be a long-term, opening bat replacement, I'll tell you.
It'll be interesting where they actually play him when he does actually play more of those T20s and one-day games, where they actually play him. Like, Shane Watson, he did a lot of opening in the one-dayers and that sort of stuff. So whether they see him in the same vein or the same mold, then that'll be interesting to see where they play him, or do they play him 4 or 5 to come in and finish like a Bevan or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him.
Most of our viewers, George, would not know much about Michael Bevan.
Well, I YouTube him and see him. He was the best closer in the game in his time in the late 80s, early 90s, I guess, or mid-90s.
Yeah.
Go YouTube Michael Bevan and some of his innings, and you'll be impressed with how he finished games and won a lot of games for Australia.
Now, Alex Carey's better than Inglis. Well, actually, Josh Inglis did not keep last night. It was Wade that kept. Josh Inglis was there purely as a batter, which is interesting.
Yeah. Again, like it's Alex Carey. You're not losing too much either way with their glove work, I don't think. Probably Inglis is probably a little bit better, but there's not much difference between them. So it all comes down to their batting.
Okay, I think Cameron future number 3. You're talking about Cameron Green. Well, potentially. Maybe
yeah,
that's probably too high.
That's a lot of pressure on a guy that's going to bowl 15 to 20 overs to come out and bat number 3. I think he'll stay at number 5 in the tests anyway, you would think.
Yeah. What key strategy to make you at 1 all fringe? India, well, just they batted well enough. There was nothing wrong with their batting at all.
I don't think there's too much
batted second.
That's all right. So, scoring over 200 and getting run down with 4 balls to go is not a disaster by any sense. So, I don't think they have to do too much. It's just luck of the day, I think, today.
Yeah. Problem with Stoinis is that he has no clear role in the team. They use him sparingly and ask him to perform in tight matches. Yeah, look, he can be a winner, but he's not at his best, and he's in danger of losing his spot. Alex Carey next captain? I don't think so. I just don't think so.
No, I think it's going to go. Well, Cummings is still young, so he's got another good 5 years on him, and I think then Cam Green will be cherry ripe to take over.
Yeah. He can be a world class. We've seen him do it, but he hasn't been that regular lately. Resal Hassan, New Zealand batting is weak. Well, we just don't know because they seem to still get their act together when they need to. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah,
Australia will suit them more than most grounds. Put it that way. All right. So enough about Australia versus India. We need to talk a bit about Pakistan versus England. Now, Pakistan were beaten quite convincingly by England. Alex Hales has come to the fore immediately. They blooded a new bowler called Luke Wood, which I've never seen before, left armour, who bowled quite admirably. England are going through a bit of a change in their T20 makeup. It was Moeen Ali was the captain, not Owen Morgan or Ben Stokes or anyone like that. So it's interesting. I think England is still a dark horse. I think that they will be in the World Cup with some vengeance with Australia, and I think India and Pakistan. I don't think there's going to be much of a change there.
No, yeah, definitely. Like their first win in 7 years.
Sebastian is asking.
Yeah, I think history says Australia can't win because no where it's been held has ever won it. So, you think Australia's going to have to make history to win it, but they're good enough to do it. India on their day is going to beat anyone. Pakistan is an unknown quantity because we don't know how they're going to handle the Australian conditions. If their bowlers should enjoy the extra bounce and pace in the pitches, it's how their batsmen handle the extra pace and bounciness of our pitches. And, New Zealand, it's whoever can put in a good run is going to do it well. And, you've got, the minnows like Afghanistan who can, on their day beat anyone, as they've shown in the Asian Cup. So, but you'd have to go with India, Pakistan, Australia and England at the moment. They're the ones that stand out as a semi-finalist at the moment.
They're the logical ones, you're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just looking up some stats here on Pakistan. I mean, Shaheen Afridi is very important to them. There's no doubt about that. He's needed to play well. Babar Azam also.
Babar Azam, yeah, definitely. So, and it'd be interesting to see how their spinners go out here as well. Be interesting with that extra bit of bounce and spin that they'll get. So Pakistan won a one-day World Cup in Australia, didn't they? Was that in Australia?
Yes,
It was, wasn't it? So they have got some fond memories of playing in Australia. So
they've got a great chance.
yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how they go. That wasn't very
Although
good.
they've just been beaten by England at home, which, as is India, was beaten by Australia at home.
Yeah,
Which
England was probably a little bit a better result in the way that they won, I guess, than Australia. Being a close, they really put Pakistan to the sword, really.
yeah.
So that was a bit, you'd thought that would be a lot more closer than the Australia-India game.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's been comment there about Sri Lanka. Look, I think in Australian conditions, Sri Lanka will be found wanting. The spinners won't be very effective. They won't be able to control as much and the batters aren't good enough to hit boundaries. So I think there's a real sense of lacking that they won't do well in Australia.
The only good thing they've got going for them is they've got that because they haven't, they're not in the main draw yet. They'll have an extra couple of games to play, so they'll have more, get used to the conditions a lot quicker than the other teams. So that might be in their favour a little bit.
There's a fair few qualifiers and warm-up matches happening, and certainly a number in Brisbane, which is interesting because really Brisbane's not a true end semi-final final location.
No.
So you think they would have been practicing more in Sydney, Melbourne, but I guess the pitches won't be ready yet. Okay.
Yeah,
I have left Digvijay Yadav. I have left off South Africa. I tend to do that with New Zealand to an extent. I don't think South Africa got the goods at all in this T20 format, I'm afraid. And the reason why, I mean, Rabada and the like, if they bowl, will be quite, and Norjay will be Nokia. How do you pronounce it? Norjay or Nokia? I never know. They're both pretty good, but their batting is where I think they fail.
Yeah, they'll struggle up front. And I think that's where I believe it's going to be one up front. So if you can get off to a really good start, you should be able to put enough pressure on the chasing team to struggle.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that it is that their opening stand is not a strong one, and I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't affect the matches. That won't affect the match. What are you talking about? You mentioned
especially up in Brisbane, because we are expecting the rain there again this summer. That could cause some issues, and it could be that it's very humid and the ball will swing a lot more than what we're used to seeing. So it could be interesting, the weather conditions, especially up here.
You reckon? Okay, we'll wait and see.
Well, it depends on the weather, but yeah, we are expecting a wet summer up here.
Nobody picked the South African captain drafts, I think, in the drafts. Yeah, well, I mean, South African, everything, the batting lineup was very ordinary. I'm sorry. Ellis looks for better than Cummins. Well, they're not going to be changing too much there.
Yeah.
Ellis is, look, he is pretty coming on strong. Kane Richardson was meant to play last night. He pulled out last minute, so Nathan Ellis was not even going to play, which is interesting.
Okay.
Kane Richardson was in the lineup. That was pretty well noted. There was no
So was he injured, Norm?
Yes.
So does that mean he's not going to play in the next couple of games, do they think?
Well, I don't know whether it was that serious at this point, but I think Nathan Ellis may have got the jump on him because of that, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it.
So, look, England and Australia have come through against Pakistan at home and India at home. That doesn't compute, in my opinion. It's something not meant to be that way, I would have argued. So
wouldn't happen very, very regularly that both Australia and England have won in Pakistan and India on the same day, pretty much. So
yeah.
Both Australia and England.
I think there's something. What's more dangerous for me is we taking this form too seriously. We look at what happened last year, where Australia was getting smacked by the West Indies and smacked by Bangladesh, and we thought they weren't going to be any more than 6th or 7th, and they won the World Cup. So we really can't judge this form as a true indicator, I'm afraid. It's really still a fair way away from that. And my light's gone out there. I have to do a bit of door opening here just to get this There we go.
I think T20 in its own thing is just like it's what happens on the day. Form doesn't really come into it like a lot. Like, yeah, if you're in good form, you're going to see the ball better. If you're a bowler, they're going to be coming out better. But it's on the day. It's 4 overs for the bowlers, and it's only 20 overs for the batsmen. So it's going to be on the day who can get the best on the day, and it's a lottery. Unless weather conditions come into it, and then batting first might be a good thing.
Yeah, but the toss won't be as significant as it's been in the subcontinent, that's for sure this year.
Definitely not.
So Green and Ellis, Hamanch is hoping their injuries to those two get in the squad. Look, Australia might rue not having those two in there. They've gone and stuck the neck out with David there, Tim David. He's in, and he hits the ball very crisply, I must say.
Yeah,
it's quite impressive.
He hits that ball. So I don't think Tim David's a bad thing, but Smith and Stoinis will be quite happy that they got into the squad.
Yeah, I think they're going to be. I mean, Steve Smith. I'm sorry, he needs to just go away and play Test cricket. I think that's what he needs to stick to.
That's his thing, and that's where he should just concentrate on that.
India versus South Africa. Well, that will be an interesting match, but I think India will have the measure. When top order fires, middle order is good. When top order falls, middle order is bad. But Australia's got the right combo. Well, I think they still haven't worked it out yet. They're still got a question over Marsh and Stoinis. They're still got a question over those guys. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, actually.
It'd be interesting to see how they set out their batting order. Like, obviously, Warner and Finch are going to be up top, but then after that, it's, do you Marsh, Stoinis, Maxwell, who's coming in? Like, is it at the end of the day, it can be just on the day who depending on what things are happening, they can just throw in whoever, which is a good problem to have, but it makes it harder for the batsmen if they're not knowing where they're coming in and what their role is, I guess.
I think India are making a big mistake by not leaving Punt in the side and throwing Karthik in there. I understand that he's been playing well domestically and for the IPL, but look, he's 35 plus. He hasn't got a long-term future. Why are we putting him in such a position where he's ahead of Punt? I don't get it at all.
I like Punt as a batsman. He can change the game in and over, and especially in Australia, he's proven himself out here. So
there's something very, very strange about India. Again,
they have a lot of politics
in
their teams and that sort of stuff. So that's the way they've done it for the last 20, 30 years, and I don't see that changing too much soon.
Let's wait until they all come to Australia and start playing warm-up matches and qualifiers here to see how they'll really go. That's my thoughts.
Definitely.
Then we have a situation where, we're talking about. Don't you think that batting Pakistan will struggle in Australia? No, they won't. I think they'll bat well. Rizwan and Babar Azam will have a lot of aptitude there. Who's our next T20 white ball opener? Again, if Aaron Finch is not there. Well, it's open to Ben McDermott, Josh Inglis,
Tim David, I guess.
Yeah, well, he might be in there, yeah.
Cam Green, we saw last night. He opened and he's done a great job. So, Warner and we'll need a new set of openers. So they'll all be playing for that in the BBL. See how that goes.
I don't take that seriously. I've lost all interest in the BBL completely, I must be honest. Rizwan, top catch for last year.
WBBL, that's more interesting.
Yeah, Rizwan's he's a bit of a legend in the short form, I must say. English played well yesterday. Yesterday, not tomorrow. Yep.
Yesterday, this morning.
Bumrah didn't play that well. But sorry, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, I'm saying, didn't play well.
Poor reading.
I'm saying no Green is middle order player, not number 4. Well, he could bat anywhere. He seems to be able to bat anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but in the longer forms, definitely late. Number 5 or 6 would be his better spot.
Trevor's head's completely out of the picture. He hasn't been selected anyway. So
no. Have you been talking to the selectors, Norm?
I think I have.
They've been listening to you, haven't they?
They must have. I must have had an effect. Look, he isn't consistent. He's not. A lot of people in Australia, especially as we talk about it, with great disdain. It's only the South Australian contingent that's supporting him, seeing he's a local. He's not the next captain. He's not the next captain, even though he had success in the under-19 circuits. Jason Sanger, who's now the vice captain of New South Wales, I'm still rating him.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where he fits in the next couple of years as well.
Yeah. Hardy is another all-round. I don't know anything about this Hardy. Sam Hislop keeps mentioning him.
I don't know. Don't know him either.
All right, so India and the likes of Australia are playing. Obviously, Pakistan versus England. South Africa, I'm not factoring them into the top four. Sri Lanka, either. West Indies, well, they're not even featuring anywhere at the moment. Bangladesh for a shot. Afghanistan's they could have performed. But really, Australia, India, Pakistan, and England. Pretty certain there's your four there. Unless upsets occur, that's my four.
Well, anything's possible in a T20. Yeah, you've only got, you have a bad day, you're all out for 80. Your run rate stuffed, everything's buggered, and you're out of the tournament pretty much. So,
well, go back to the World Cup last year. Did you give Australia any hope of winning that?
Not a chance.
No, I didn't give them any hope either.
No,
I thought they were gone. Well,
with the way they were playing beforehand and what was going on, you didn't give them a chance at all. But there you go. So it's open and anyone can win it. Just tells you that form 3-4 months before the competition means absolutely nothing.
Now, Sam Hislop likes to bring in these new names. Teague, Wiley, long way off. Mew 2 says, has Aussie achieved the secret to play T20 cricket? Where do you rate them in the world cricket? I don't think Australia you can't rate Australia too high. I'm sorry. No, you really can't. Even though they won a World Cup, they're still not pound for pound. India's better. I still believe that.
I don't think we put enough emphasis on the T20 game, and to me, I don't think we should. Like, it's only a hit and giggle still, I believe. It's not really the pure game sort of thing. It's not a test where we like to see the test matches a bit more in Australia, and I think that's where most people look at what's happening in the world cricket is in the test arena. In the T20 arena, it's just like, whatever.
Now, should India consider Mohammad Shami in T20 World Cup squad considering Australia? Well, he's not in the squad. Is that correct? I believe he's not in the squad.
Don't think he was from memory from last week. Yeah. I don't remember seeing his name in there. So, but again, anything can happen. I guess injuries. There will be a few injuries over the next couple of months in some of the teams, and it's how those players, which players they pick. I guess depends who gets injured as well. Yeah.
Mewtwo, no secret, Australia has last few years take T20 World Cup seriously. That's why they are doing so well. Yeah, they kind of are. Inish said no, it's just Natarajan. He's a lost name. He was an up-and-coming star there, and he seems to have gone off the boil.
Yeah, I guess the young kids, they find it hard to adjust sometimes to the big boy cricket.
Yeah, so New Zealand World Cup squad announcements. I think it's a pretty good side, really. They're making a miss of Ross Taylor, but they got a pretty good side. Bowling is also good. I think there's a lot to say, which is positive.
They're a well-balanced side as normal. No, they don't have too many standout players, world-class players anymore, but they'll adapt and they'll know our conditions really well. So they'll be in there, but I don't see them going too far. I think their best days are past them over the last couple of years. They've really overachieved, and I think that's it for them. They might be on a bit of a downward spiral.
Okay, so Sam Hislop's making a good point here. Last 5 matches for Australia, Green is the man of the match 3 times. And he's not in the World Cup squad. That's bizarre.
Yeah. We all know what sort of a quality player he is, so I don't know why.
Russell Hudson's missing Matt Henry. Well, he's been pretty good. You can only have so many players in the squad. You can't have everybody.
Is it? It's a 14-man squad, 15, 14 or 15.
It's 15. It's a 15.
Yeah, you can't take two, like, you know.
Nice. Actually, I don't know why they can't take 20. Why can't they take 20? Anyway, okay, I've got a question here. Deepak Chahar should have played in the first T20 international against Australia at Mohali in place of Lumashadov, since he's the standby for the T20 World Cup. Do we agree? So if they got the T20 World Cup coming up, Deepak Chahar is meant to be almost in the squad. He should have been given a Guernsey ahead of Umashadov because Umashadov was not on the squad. That's a fairly
That's a fair point.
Sounding thing. It's fairly true, actually.
They're obviously going to be out here touring. I think they're going to. Most teams are bringing out an extra 3 or 4 players in their touring squad for cover. So yeah, why would you not have that player who's in your shadow squad playing?
I don't know.
In place of another one. So yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But it doesn't matter in the sense that the conditions they played in today or last night was not anywhere near what they're going to be in Australia. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I look. It's very as we've said all along. It's very hard to gauge the form of these people when we talk about the way in which this is really no bearing on the World Cup. It's some good practice, yes. Conditions will be different, certainly. Winning the toss will be a different importance, certainly. So, and are India foxing? I don't think they are. They batted pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, they're professional players, and they're all going to go out and try and do the best they can. They don't go out there to lose or not care. They're playing for their country. So, you know, yes, whilst it's a 3-match series for TV, and that's about it. But those players will still be out there trying to do their best they can on the day.
I think so. Now, is T20 given South Africa is T20 cricket is going to? I'm not sure what that question's all about. What they're working on. That one, I don't get that one. Do you understand that one?
So, is T20 cricket is a given day cricket, or a team can achieve consistency there? So what he's asking is it on the, like, who's the best on the day, or can you? Is it like you can keep playing well? I think it's more on the given day is who can win any game, and consistency doesn't mean too much in T20 cricket. Just like the way the cricket calendar is at the moment, it's hard to get consistency in any one form of the game because you just got to be able to adapt and change from test to one days to T20, and that's why we're seeing a lot of players not. Once upon a time, you saw this test squad is the same for all your squads. Now it's not. You've got a defined 3 different teams pretty much, and there's about 3 or 4 players that'll play all of them. But apart from that, it's hard to get consistency because it's not the same teams playing.
Yep, and they chop and change so much. It's really I find it annoying. I really find it annoying. Okay, we will have to see whether West Indies will really turn up. I'm not even going now. I think they're nowhere near good enough.
Right.
Can't wait for T20 World Cup. We need some form from Stoinis, Maxwell to come. I don't know why they'll be there.
Stoinis, I don't know about that, but no, he needs a lot of form. I don't know how he's going to get it, or where he's going to find it, but anyway.
Well, we interested to see the mindset of why he was left out, really. So, New Zealand, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Tri-Nation Tour.
Tour.
Okay, Shane Watson's still looking good. Well, what are you interested in? You think he's good looking? Or what Matthew Wade, most underrated finisher. Well, he's a bit like Trevor said. I think that he's unpredictable as hell, to be honest. He did very well in the World Cup last year. I'll give him that, but I wouldn't get too excited.
And he normally plays up front, like a lot of his T20 club games or whatever franchise teams he played with. He's normally playing as an opener as well. So it's I don't know, a bit of a different spot for him.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about him. I'm still anyway. Australia's keeping situation still is a worry for me. It's still not right. Shakib Al Hasan saying better performance. Well, betting performance or batting performance? Okay, betting might be an interesting one. Father Ahmed Raza. Okay. OCFB. Hey, how are you? OSCFB.
OFCB. What's OFCB?
Oh, Christ for
batting.
OCFB. Tell us what your meaning of your name is, please. What are you standing for there?
That's it. No.
Where did you rate? Okay, Surya Komayalov in modern. Could be anything. He could be the next big thing for India. He's given the chance now to keep a regular spot, and he certainly shows he can play all the shots. He looked good.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he comes along in the next IPL season, I guess, and if he can see how he does in the World Cup, I guess.
Well, he can play a very important role, I think, in the World Cup. India have not taken themselves out of first gear, I don't think. I still don't think they've done that. Not done that.
Well, they don't need to at the moment.
No. But I don't think India likes to lose on their home soil to anyone.
And especially to Australia.
Yeah, but it's still. They've got the next match coming up, so
yeah, they can still win.
Probably going to. They've still got a few matches to go, and they'll be in different conditions. They'll be down. Mohali was where they are. They're going to Nagpur. And they're going further south to Hyderabad. So there's a fair bit of pitch differentiation going to happen, I think, in the next few matches. And then they hot-tail it straight to Australia and start playing here.
Well, yeah, Australia's got. I think Australia plays against New Zealand next, or
what, at home?
Yeah, I think they've got a couple of with New Zealand and someone else as well. I'm not sure who.
They're playing India in a match too.
Here, I know they've got a couple of teams they're playing against, so be interesting to see how they go.
Okay, Ahmed Raz wants to know our opinion of the Pakistan-England first T20 match. Alex Hales was certainly sensational. I thought the new young bowler Luke Wood was also good. I thought Moeen Ali captained very well, and hence they beat Pakistan.
Yeah. Well, it's well done, and they're going to be a team to watch out for. If Alex Hale gets on, watch out.
Yeah, very much so. Marty John Finch is still fine-tuning the bowling department to not let Target get away from him. I think Finch he knows what he's doing. He's won a World Cup only last year. We're going to remember that. This guy will probably be our best captain for this World Cup as he is, despite his batting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Australian tour of India to test is next year. I believe so too. I hope to be going to all of these things. Next year is going to be a big year. Hopefully the IPL, definitely the Ashes. I'm going to be running around the world next year. Once all my property matters are sorted with my mother's situation, I'll be free as a bird.
Oh, geez. Good life for some.
Well, Hales knows the business pretty well after playing the PSL. He does. Yeah. And he'd be good in Australia as well. OCFB, who will win the T20 World Cup 2022? What do you think about that? You have to think Australia, followed by India and England, with Pakistan at fourth.
Yeah.
OCFB, what does OCFB stand for? Tell us.
It's a secret. He's in the Secret Service. He can't tell
the secret office of the cheeky, funny bastards. Office of the cheeky, funny bastards. That's what I reckon he is. Oh my God. OCFB, if you're going to tell, or are you OC about Facebook? You've been, a bit over. What's the OC when you're OC? What's that mean? You're like
OCD.
OCB. What is it? OC. What's it?
OCD.
OCD. Are you OCD about FB? Well, tell us. We're waiting.
We're waiting. Come on.
Yes. Well. Okay. What do you? Okay. I said Australia, followed by India, England, then Pakistan is the order of who will win and go close. What do you think in order to do this?
I think it's England India is going to be the final. I think Australia's
Right.
going to
Okay.
miss out.
Hear that here, guys. Doofus has said England versus India in
India.
the final of the T20 World Cup
You heard it
2022
here first.
in Melbourne.
I think Australia's going to miss out. I really do.
Well, based on the evidence or the weight of evidence from previous tournaments, and look, when I look at the Asia Cup, I had Afghanistan and India certainties to play in the final, and a backflip we had bloody Pakistan versus Sri Lanka.
Yeah, like again, yeah, that's right. Those tournament players, you got to be at the end of the tournament is when you got to be playing your best. Yeah, you got to be able to win those first few games to get you at the end, but if you've got form at the end, that's where you're going to do well. And I think that's what Australia did well in the last World Cup. It had a good run right at the end, and it won matches when it mattered, not at the start. So whoever can do that the best in this World Cup will definitely have an advantage.
Manu John reckons it's Australia, New Zealand, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. So he's dumped
India?
England, he's dumped India. That's pretty bold.
Yeah, I
don't
so.
think it's Australia versus England. I don't think so. We have Marsh, Inglis, McDermott, Cameron Green can bat at number 3 if Marsh is not there. That's true.
Yeah, if Marsh is not there, it probably will be there.
Norm was talking from a black hole. Typical school kid talking there. Do you think India's bowling disaster since Asia Cup? A little bit, but I'm not too worried. That these don't count as important.
No.
I don't see. He does. Okay. Manu doesn't see English even. Well, maybe English the language or England the team. Who are you talking about?
So it'd be interesting. Parting Lisbon. What?
Has never defeated the. As when Kartik, I'm in a black hole. You must be in a bigger black hole. What are you talking about?
He's talking about Sporting Lisbon. Have never defeated English football men. Yeah, they beat Spurs 2-0 in the last week.
We're talking about something. Ashwin, we're not talking about that today.
Just cricket today, Ashwin. Just cricket. We're keeping our focus to cricket.
Yes, as we should. It's a World Cup coming up.
Yes.
Oh, we've been joined by Sarthak Singh, another fellow here. Hi, Hi, Norman. I am Sarthak Singh. We had a chat on Instagram when India went last time. Why didn't come to India for this cup? Look, my mother passed away 2 or 3 months ago. I've been too caught up by all that, I'm afraid, but I will be there. I will get there one day. Don't worry.
Hopefully, win the IPL next year.
Yeah. And you're not going to win the T20 World Cup. Why, Ashwin? Because I'm in a black hole. Is that why? Sporting Lisbon, cricket is boring. Cricket is boring. What is this? You go and snore. You go and snore someone else.
Ashwin.
You're a school kid. You should be studying.
They're on school holidays.
That's no excuse. You should be getting ready for the next exam. Only old people watch cricket these days. What? Ashwin Kartik, take those words back. How dare you? You're saying we're old? What is this?
Well,
Australia needs to resolve their problem at the moment. Well, they don't need to resolve very much. Just got to get a final side together.
I think they got it. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting the people in the right spots.
Well, getting them on deck and not having them bloody injured all the time.
Yeah, well, that'll help too.
Okay, OCFB, OCDC, Sri Lanka cricket teammates makes heart attack every match. Are you? They're a bit of the heart attack group. I agree with that.
Yeah, you just
want to know
what
what does OCFB stand for? Ashwin Kartik, Australia can win the World Cup if they manage to win the toss. Why? It's not going to matter in Australia.
I think it matters too much in Australia. It depends. Though some teams do like to chase rather than set, so it'll be an individual thing more so this time rather than if you win the toss, you just bat. So it'll be more even.
Ashwin saying that cricket's not boring. I know you're only joking. I'm glad because I was not angry, really. Thoughts on Alex Howell's comeback? We've already mentioned that already. It's been wonderful. Obviously, he's been chomping at the bit. He's played well at PSL and CPL and then BBL. He's champion all of us.
Well,
I can't
like
add
wherever he
Giuseppe
goes.
Ashwin, we can't add Giuseppe if he's not here.
No,
How about
we
Roger
cut him
Federer
off.
close
That's
weekend?
it. No more Giuseppe.
Yeah, okay. Manu John, I've gone dark. I'm in a black hole again. Manu John says, how about Roger Federer? That's pretty big.
Yeah. There's been a few big things happen outside of the cricket world this last couple of weeks, I guess.
Here we go. All right. Yeah, look, Roger Federer, I would love to see him play cricket. I reckon he played cricket well. So
Got a good hand-eye coordination, hasn't he?
Ahmed Raza thinks that Pakistan is over-dependent on Bubba and Rizwan. Our middle order conundrum can never be solved. I don't think about it. You can never say never.
No, it's going to be, it's hard. But Bubba Azam and Rizwan are probably the two world-class players that they've got. So, it's hard to have more than a few world-class players in your team. So,
yeah.
They're
much Rahela says, but in T20 toss matters most, not in Australian conditions and won't.
Yeah, a bit different.
What is Cameron Bangoff doing now? He's not playing Test cricket or ODI T20. That's what he's not doing.
He's working at a furniture shop with sandpaper.
He should be teaching you English. Amlan Bora. Hello, Amlan Bora's joined us. Hi, how are you? Sartek Singh, I'm unable to understand why Cameron Green is in the World Cup squad. So wait, don't worry, you're not the only one.
Don't worry, you're not the only one, mate. It's all of us.
What a match last night over 4 runs. It was a great match. It was a really good match. And Australia come out on top. I could see many Formula One fans in India, especially in the last 2 years. It's far more popular in Australia. Ashwin Kartik, we're talking about cricket tonight, not about Formula bloody One.
We got one driver in the Formula One, so it is still popular.
Yeah. It's popular here, of course, especially the Melbourne Grand Prix.
Melbourne, yeah.
He'll be definitely selected the next one day everything or T20 everything. No one. Digvijay Yadav, what do you think? Should India consider Ravi Bishnoi instead of Chahal in the World Cup? I'd say no.
No, not at this stage.
What would you like to say about Cameron Green's innings in Mohali? Superb. Yeah. He's just growing from strength to strength.
It's a great innings. Everyone shakes their head why he's not in our squad, but anyway.
They're going to brew that mistake.
Yeah.
Ashwin Kelly, where am I talking from? From a black hole. You told me a minute ago, a black hole. From my car, my new Kia Sportage.
Watch out, everybody. If you see one coming towards you, run.
Especially if it's black. If it's black and sexy looking. All right. So happy birthday, Universe Boss. Yes, it is the birthday of Chris Gale. He would be on some boat with stripper poles for sure tonight. I'm
Scantily
sure.
Clad women all over the boat.
I think there'll be plenty of that. Yes, he's rather notorious for that. That's for sure.
Half his luck.
Now, there's comments between Green and Marsh. Well, not for this World Cup. There's not, because Marsh is not selected and won't be selected.
No, Green's not selected. Marsh is selected.
Ashwin Carty's going through his book. What happened to Chris Green? Now, Chris Green, yeah, he was playing for a while, pretty admirable, but he's obviously fallen away. Amlan Bora, why Indian cricket selectors and T20 formats select players on the basis of reputation and theory, but other team selections select on the basis of form and youngster? Yeah, look, I think you got a point there. I think Dinesh Karthik still is a mistake. Despite him being a good player, I'm not knocking it. He was actually deep in commentary. He was in the commentary circuit. He was almost on the way out totally and got a resurrection. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I think punts the player and let him be. let him have. He needs the experience as much as anyone in this format. Now,
Yeah. What do we got?
because Green focused on the blockbuster versus Alexa. Yeah, maybe. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Not really.
What is James Faulkner doing now? Is he in BBL? He's pretty much retired, I think, as far as I'm
I think
concerned.
he's still got one season, or is
Has he? I thought he retired.
I don't know. Yeah, he might be retired. Maybe I'm thinking about our old wicket keeper. He's making a comeback with Tasmania.
Chris Lynn, you're thinking of, like.
No, what we
Who?
call him? The wicket keeper,
Pearson.
Payne.
Tim Payne. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not. When you say ours, you mean not Brisbane's. You mean Australia.
No. Yeah, Australia.
Okay. So, can Sri Lanka batters play against seam and swing bowling Australia pitches that make them? No, I say no. No.
They're going to find it difficult, very difficult.
Ashwin, stop asking what all these people are doing now. It's not like
We just said what Tim Payne's doing. He's making a comeback with Tasmania.
He's sexting someone in his office. Greeny just ripped apart India fast bowling. He should. Yeah. I get your point, Ahmed Raza. I get your point.
Yeah.
Why not Siraj, Krishna, and Imran? Well, that's Imran Malik was supposed to be the next big thing. He's nowhere to be seen at the moment.
Yeah.
What are you doing now, Ashwin? I don't know. Ask you. Why don't you ask us? What is Himanshu doing now? Himanshu Rahel is. Oh no, he's making a message above you, you silly boy. Ashwin's being cheeky. He's obviously got too much time in his hands. He's being cheeky.
He's got two monikers, and he's asking himself what he's doing, I think.
Now, the next one will be, what is Ashwin Kartik doing? I'll put money on it. I'll put his next one will be him.
He'll be saying, "What's Babs doing?"
Well, maybe we should ask Babs that same question.
Yeah, I forgot what he's doing, but anyway.
Oh, we're fast coming up to an hour now in our discussions. So we need to be able to. Okay, we need to wrap this up now, guys. We've been on for a long time now. Yes. We need to get more people watching these shows. Now, I know that we've got plenty of shows and we've had so much success with the videos I had recently. I must thank you all. There was one there that's got 61,000 yesterday. You're posting videos. On what channel? Not on my channel.
I hate to ask of what.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I've been rising hopes Australia will win, yes. Norman, today's upcoming match, Indian women versus England women at 5:30 p.m. IST, which is effectively 10 p.m. out my time, which is another hour away. Yeah, I've lost a bit of interest, and I'm sorry. It's women's cricket's had its place. It's had the World Cups go on, but it's time now for men. It's our little moment. So I think they need to move us. Michelle Niski got the job as the Australian women's coach for about another 4 years, I think it is.
4 years, yeah.
She was involved with Sydney Cricket. She was involved with my Sydney Cricket Club, actually.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how the Australian women teams go now, because there'll be a few retirements coming over the next couple of years, and how the younger, newer players come in and take over that. So I suppose that's going to be interesting over the next few years.
Darwin is still hot, and rest in peace, Queen Majesty. Yes, she passed away, and we haven't mentioned one thing which I've left quite late in the piece. I thought I'd wait till the hour is up to talk about who.
What are you wearing? Red and green.
The mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs.
We're talking about cricket.
Sharks on the weekend. They now play Penrith in the preliminary final for the 5th year in a row. What's that? Fifth year in a row. Fifth. St George haven't played anywhere since 2010.
When's the last time the Rabbitohs won a grand final?
14.
Yeah, when's the last time Dragons won a final?
10.
Sure?
Yes, George Royal Dragons, 2010, wasn't it?
All right. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long. Bennett was the coach back then. But anyway.
How do I rate Shahnawaz Dhoni? I think he's a great player. My big concern with India is bowling is World Cup. What opinion? India got to settle their lineup. Yes, they're going to miss Jadeja. I tell you now.
Yeah. But yeah, spin's not going to be the only thing here. It's going to be how their fast bowlers go. They've got it. If all their fast bowlers are bowling well, they'll be hard to beat.
Do an episode with my Indian daughter. She'll be around before too long. Anyway. She's busy tonight. I know that. Rubbish bowling for Darling. I'll give him a break. You've been hard on him. All right, we've gone an hour, guys. So, any more questions? Because I think we've done ourselves a good service. It's only been George and I. We've been taking the brunt of your conversations.
Yes.
Where is Nalakshi Sharma from
today.
Guwahati? Nalakshi Sharma, I should get her back. She's there. She's there. I'll get her back. She's a very good co-host. What team you guys are supporting the World Cup? Ashwin, I've already talked about this. Supporting as opposed to favouring. We're Australians, so we're going to go for Australia. And but I do acknowledge England and India, and fourth team Pakistan. I don't see Sri Lanka or South Africa making it.
No.
Ahmed Raza thinks that he doesn't think that India will miss Jadeja. Axel Bell is a maestro of T20 cricket, and he will be effective in Australian conditions. Well, it is true. Axel Patel has got some talent to be unleashed in Australia. He did play there last time we had a test series, but Jadeja's all-round capability, especially in winning games, running out people, is second to none, and I think they're going to miss him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so, mark my words.
Come live on.
Please come live mid-innings show on England. No, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not.
It's a bit late.
Yeah, it is. South Africa deserves something more than a World Cup. What more? They're deserving more than World Cup. What are you saying, Ashwin? What is more than a World Cup? World Cup is a World Cup. They've choked in so many World Cups, so they're not going to. They won't want anything higher. They'll probably kill themselves.
Yeah, no chance.
No, they're perennial. They're the true meaning of the word choker is really appropriate for them. I would agree.
Yes, definitely.
Wouldn't you guys?
Right.
All right.
All right.
We've gone just about a bit over an hour now. Any other thoughts, George, that you've got? What would Michael have said? What would have Giuseppe said? What have Harry have said in this situation?
Well, Harry would have been, all we'll get out of him would be Zeds. He'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
Giuseppe and Michael probably would have been interesting to see their views on last night's game, Australia and India, and how what they took out of the game. That's always good to have an extra couple of different ideas coming from them. Michael being more of a batting person, Giuseppe more of a
he thinks.
He thinks, yeah. He reckons he could bat a little bit, but yeah, so it's always interesting to see what they took out of the game. Obviously, we all saw Cam Green's, and he's been the main focus today of how he played and why he's not in the squad. But it is what it is. But he can only keep doing what he's doing, and eventually he'll get there. But yeah, so interesting times ahead, and it's always good to see what happens. Like, yeah, as we saw, India and Australia in India, Pakistan and England in Pakistan is not going to mean a great deal when they come out here in Australian conditions. So let's wait and see. I don't think, India will probably win the series 2-1, but come out here and it'll be totally different games.
Okay, so where is Chris Norman and the Barmy Army? They'll come in the IPL and in the World Cup. Don't worry, they'll be there. Yeah. They should have gone to the final. Australia should have on that game. Oh my God! In '99 World Cup, they deserved it. What is Bazball's approach to Barmy Norman? I don't get that question.
Barmy Army.
South Africa are chokers, and then Australia are cheaters. Well, you're partly right. Yes, we know.
Been more cheaters all over the world rather than Australia. Australia's done nothing compared to what some of the world cricketers have done.
Oh, I think they've been there. No, OCFB. What are you talking about? Are you like green mango with chili and salt? What is that got to do with the price of fish? Are you like green mango with chili and salt? Me personally,
Is
well,
that a
if
delicacy
you
in
would eat me,
Sri Lanka, is it?
I think OCFB is talking about me. I'd probably be more like lard. In India is the best. We know that, Ashwin. Where's pretty Opala? I'm on Bora. That's the historical name. She's off in the fairy somewhere. I've got no idea. She was here last. She has her own channel, and she thinks the channel's too good for me. Well, then she can have her own channel. The channel has done nothing. I shouldn't
Bad
be
luck
nasty.
for you,
I
pretty
don't.
Apollo.
The last person I need is someone like that. We've got plenty of other good people to come on the show. She was good for a time. Did you ever meet Pretty Opala? You didn't. She was from South Africa, from America, an Indian in America.
No, okay. No time for those sort of people, Norm. We got no time for them.
No. Why did Justin Pumaja not play? I don't know, Shay Manju. I think he was probably not ready yet. Australia #1? Well, not yet. Sorry, Norman. I have to go to school. You have to go to school. I thought you were on school holidays. And you're going to school at what? At 9 p.m.?
Don't know what sort of school he's going to.
A school of hard knocks. IPL 2022, awesome foursome. Oh yeah, that was what we had. I had a show for the IPL 2022 called the Awesome Foursome. That's what he's talking about.
Oh.
You're reminiscing there, Amlan Bora, aren't you? You're certainly reminiscing. He was a regular for many moons ago, actually.
Okay.
So he's reminiscing. Manu John's been here forever too. Is it too early to think about ODI World Cup next year? Yes, it is too early. We're talking about the Manu John with the T20 World Cups in about a month's time. Why would we start talking about the World Cup the year after? Jesus, let this one finish first.
Yeah. Let's try and pick a winner for this one, let alone worry about.
Can you just give us a chance? It is a bit too early. Why was the Champions League cricket cancelled? Was it a failure? Ashwin, I thought you had to go and do your schoolwork.
Yes, it was a failure.
Yes, it was a failure. But why aren't you doing your schoolwork? Why Cam Green is not in the World Cup? Ashish, Rawat, we don't know. We're wondering the same thing. He's won 3 man of the matches lately, and he's not there. I totally think it's it is very dumbfounding. I mean, even George is a bit dumbfounded.
And that's easy to do.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not hard. Yeah. All right. That's it, guys. Well, we've done an hour. We're going to say goodbye. Thank you to George Pasaras, a.k.a. Doofus. Which is more applicable, scramble seam or wobbly seam? They're the same thing, is it?
Pretty much. Depends on which country you come from. We'll call it a scramble or a wobbly seam. Same thing.
I thought you were asking what's the difference between scrambled eggs and wobbly bread or something. I'm not sure what your question was going to be. All right. I think that's enough stuff. Ashwin, I'm leaving then. Norman is being too harsh to be. Don't you start. Ashwin, you're the one that's a cheeky one, not me.
It should be. It's past your bedtime, Ashwin.
Yeah, go back and study, whatever you're doing. I'm 10 years old. Oh, what? I don't think you're 10 years old.
We want to see your birth certificate.
Okay, Ashwin, prove that you're 10 years old. You shouldn't be on a computer when you're 10-year-old. I don't think you're 10 years old. And he's pretending to cry too.
Yeah, that's it.
10-year-olds shouldn't cry.
Well, they should. Some of them need a good spanking.
Well, hello. Now we're getting
It's a whole different show.
We do not want to go into that territory on live, please. What is the impact outside? What is the impact outside Norman in DRS? You mean, well, DRS is a bit of a pain in the butt. That's what I think. It should be only for howlers, as they always say. We seem to always put it for something other than a howler, which is where the problem starts and finishes.
Yeah.
OCFB South Africa T20 League make another level of franchise cricket news. Yeah, well, look, it's about India spreading their wings with South Africa, UAE, CPL, obviously.
The Caribbean.
We'll see Caribbean is CPL.
No, CPL.
But ultimately, they want to take over the world with their IPL, and they're doing a pretty good job. If you can offer someone $10 million to stay with them for the full year, I reckon they'll be putting their hands going up.
Oh, yeah. The thing
OCFB, old Codgers Facebook. Old Codgers. There we are. I've got it. Old Codgers Facebook. I found out what it is.
Well, see, that's why the Premier, the Champions League for cricket won't work, because it's this IPL sides all over the world. They can't have all their players playing against each other, can they?
No. No, it'll be the same. They won't be able to play a different time. Ashish Rawat, okay. No one cares about South Africa. I think that South Africans care.
Yeah, that's it.
I do love Carl Rahul's style of play. I think he batted brilliant yesterday. Why Indian players hype that much more than other teams in the icing events? Well, because they got the most followers.
They got 1 billion population. That's why.
All right, we're going to go, guys. I think we've done enough. All right, thanks, George. We'll see each other next week, hopefully with a full crew.
Yep.
Plenty more to talk about. So thanks, everyone. Well, this is 1 hour, 11 minutes of a great discussion. George, Doofus, Casares, and Norman. Boom, boom, Kochner. All right, guys. Ciao.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Ciao. See ya.